Boom. Timed that one perfect. I'm pretty impressed with myself. Not really, but I'm thankful enough. Hey, everybody. It's Louis Porter Jr. Another lovely episode of Transparency Agenda. Today, I want to talk about something comic book related. I didn't get my books today, and I just didn't feel like going out to get any books. I had a very busy day. So I said, hey, let's do something kind of cool. A lot of people keep asking about my Mutants Masterminds and what are my thoughts on that. So I said, let me take down a little trip down memory lane and put everything in perspective for everyone, because it's one of those things, though, you don't always understand it if you weren't there. So I want to put it kind of in perspective for people of how important Mutants Masterminds, M&M Superlink at the time was for like my company specifically. And this was like, this is the turning point. I mean, literally, this was the turning point from LPJ Design being just another third-party publisher, never heard from again, just whatever, to actually being a financially solid and incredibly important setup. I mean, it was that important. So let's talk. All right. So back in 2002, I was making roughly about $100 a month in my sales at RPG Now. So it's 2002, which that's pretty good back then. I mean, you know, it wasn't even like now, but it's like, oh, you know, that was good money at the time. So what made it kind of interesting is that I was like, and right then, Mutants Mastermind just kind of really got on the scene. If I get the dates kind of wrong, don't be surprised. It's, you know, it's all kind of blurry. It's been, 15 years. So I'm trying to remember this the best I can. So in 2002, I started putting out things specifically for Mutants and Masterminds, if my memory serves me correct, which I think it does. But it's kind of one of those weird but important facts. So, and this is something else I found out while doing this, how publishing really works, how you can really amp your speed and growth very quickly. So I was making products for, right at that point, some D&D, some really rare stuff, and then Mutants Masterminds came out. And Mutants Masterminds came out, and they came out with their first book, and I literally said, I got the book because I'm a huge superhero fan, so I was like, oh, let me see what they've done with superheroes. Let me see how they did it. And it came out, and the first thing I saw, I was like, okay, I already know what book I want to do first. Thank you for telling me I reached my goal today. I knew the product I want to make first. The first product I want to do was a Powers book. I'm a huge fan of the original Marvel superheroes, aka Face Rip system. They did a book called the Ultimate Powers book, and I think I might even still have a copy in my bookshelf that I can see. I know that I have a digital copy, and I love that book. That's one of my favorite books of all time. I think it's the best Powers book ever done anywhere. And so I said, hey, let's do the same thing for us, for LPJ Design. And we called it Power Corrupts, and that was our first big foray into Mutants Masterminds. And when we put that book out, I mean, that book went like nuclear. Let me put it to you in real odd perspective so you can think about this. So we released that book the first day. We were, how many sales did we get again? We got like 70 sales the first day. And then by the third day, and this is why I remember this, by the third day, we'd already sold 180 copies. The weird thing was going on is that the first day, we were all by ourselves. There was nobody else. We were like number one. We were like, yeah, we're number one. We're number one. We're going to be number one forever. We're number one. And this is at RPG Now. Then the second day, something weird happened. Monty Cook put out a product. And that second day, he didn't really appear on the numbers. And that second day, we're still like number one. We're like, they're number one. We're going to be number one forever. The third day for us, the second day for Monty, he was like number two. And we were like, whoa. Because at that time, you don't understand, we didn't know numbers. No one knew numbers. No one knew kind of what was a good seller, was a bad seller. He had in our heads what we thought would be a good seller, but like I said, we sold 180 something in the first 3 days. And, that book cost me, let me tell you, this is Lee Hammock wrote that book. I guess I can tell the price of the book. I paid Lee $200 to write that book, and I can't remember how many words it was. It was a fair amount of words. It was $200, and within the first 3 days, that book was a $4 book. So we, basically tripled our money in 3 days. And when that happened, the next words that came out of my mouth that I turned to Lee, I'm like, we're doing a bunch of these Mastermind books. We're doing a bunch of these. We're just doing a bunch. because I mean that was huge. So then we came up with a sequel for it, and the sequel did just as well. Oh, and by the way, if you're wondering, Monty Cook blew us out of the water by day 4 of us. By day 2 or 3 of him, we were number 2, and he was number 1. He never let go of that. But it was nice to know for for one fleeting day, I was bigger than Monty Cook on RPG Now. So that's like a nice little story for myself. But when those numbers came back on Power Corrupts, we immediately. I mean, it wasn't even like I got the third day's numbers, and I go right to Liam, like, we're doing a second book. Just start writing it now. We'll have it as soon as possible. Just start writing it now. And boom, he wrote that book. And at the time, I kept thinking, well, what are the kind of stuff we could do? What are the interesting things we could do? So then we started building like classes, not really classes, but just ideas for characters. They had basically archetype characters that you could play and you could use, and how you built them and that kind of stuff. So we did the exact same thing. And here's the weird thing. Initially, we got it down to a system where we were literally, and I mean this, literally releasing a product a week for Mutants Masterminds. So here we are releasing a product a week for Mutants Masterminds. We were charging maybe at that time like $1.50. So, and the products we made, we basically set it up that they'd only cost us like $25 to make. So they were cheap, fast, and what people wanted. And that just really cornered the market so quickly. I mean, it's hard to explain it now because people now there's a lot of big companies, there's a lot of players in the field, there's a lot of stuff going on. I mean, back then it was just the Wild West. So anything was just, people were trying anything. So, this started happening, and we got it. We got at the right time, the right moment, and we built a fan base off that. And then this is what exactly happened. And this is freaky but interesting. So like I told you, in 2002, we made $100 a month. That was a big thing. By the end of 2003, we were making $400 a month. And I was like, woo, $400 a month. We are awesome. And that was a lot of money because, once again, you didn't have any judge to like, is this a lot of money? Is this not a lot of money? I assume it's a lot of money. It seems like a fair amount of money. So we had all that going on. Just checking something real quick. And you just didn't know. There wasn't a gauge. So without the gauge, it's kind of hard. So you just guesstimate. And then 2003, we kept adding more product. And the more product we added, the more that sold. And this really has become a theory that I've seen over and over and worked. I think everybody uses this now. And I've told this many times before. You want to get popular in this? It's very simple. Start with small products. Release small products every week. We're talking like $1, $2 products. Not really expensive, but enough that people can pick up and see on a regular basis. You will get to a certain point, and I mean, you can do every one a week. One a week is a solid exchange. It's like bam, bam, but you keep hitting it every week. Like, oh, got a new product. Oh, got a new product. Oh, got a new product. That's enough to get people interested in going, oh, okay, I'll buy them. Or I'll wait till you get a bunch of them, I'll collect them together and buy them as a bundle. That's something also you can do. So you just keep releasing. So think about it. For 1 year, we released 52 products in that year. And that quadrupled our sales. Went from 100 to 400. Then the next year, we did the exact same thing. We did release products for another year straight. But here's where it got interesting. We went from making roughly $400 a month till the end of 2004. We went to $1,600 a month. So I want you to think about that for a second. 2002, $100. 2003, $400. 2004, $1,600 a month, and it's like whoop! It was, and at that moment, it really was. It couldn't have been better financially for me. It really couldn't have been better for me financially. I mean, that was the year that I got my car. The Honda Civic that I used to have, that I just sold actually about 2 or 3 years ago. Yeah, like 2 or 3 years ago. That car. I made all the payments I made for the car. That car was totally 100% bought by PDF money. Maybe the first 2 payments were like actually out of my own pocket, but then we started making money online. And I was like, screw it, I'm gonna have my business pay my car payments, and my business did. My business paid for that car. PDF sales paid for that car. That car cost me $16,000. I'll never forget it, because I remember when I wrote the last check, I was like, wow, this is amazing. I didn't pay a cent on this. All of the hard work we did on PDFs made this so. That being said, I've always gone back to, well, you can always make sales in PDFs. I think PDFs are great sales. I think they're a great way at least to make sales. I think that is a way. You got to basically just grind it out. And it's going to be tough. And for the other people are like, oh, come on, Lewis, this is really, really tough. Yeah, it's supposed to be really, really tough. That's the whole gimmick. But if you do it right and you follow that same system, because look, everybody's doing the same thing. I've done it. Legendary Games has done it. Owen has done it. It's Super Genius. Anna is Rogue Genius. I mean, it's not that difficult. Release a product a week, convert it to cash, collect them together at the end of whatever time you do it, maybe 3 months, 4 months, 5, whatever, and then package it and just keep doing it. Just keep releasing product. Keep releasing good stuff. And yes, it's very difficult to do. It's very difficult to do good stuff constantly if you're working alone. And that was the other piece that I learned while doing that. When I was doing all the work myself, because I was like, I'm going to do it all myself because I want my name to be everything. That was the dumbest thing I ever did. And I mean this literally. Don't be that person. Don't be as stupid as me. Be smarter than me. A lot of you say, well, I want to be a writer. Well, that's great. But let me give you a little piece of advice you can think about. You can use this later for yourselves. You can do whatever you want with it, but this is kind of important. See, I was told, not well recently, but even a long time ago, but it didn't get to my head till recently. Just like, oh my God, that's what they mean. If you want to go fast, go alone. No doubt on that. But if you want to go far, go with a group. And, I as a company figured that out. I mean, when I was by myself, it was just fast. Everything was just fast and fast and fast. We were just vomiting out stuff. But then when I started getting people around me who were really qualified and really good, it took a lot of pressure off of me to focus on the business and helping it grow and making it stable. So where I could take, we didn't put out a product for 4 months. It's not going to affect our sales. That's how we've gotten to that level. And that's something that I wish I would have learned earlier. I wish I'd have learned that back in, 2000 when I first started. Go with a team, get with some guys, get your ego out of it. My ego was involved in a lot of this stuff. But especially back then, it was all ego. So yeah, don't do that. Don't be like me. Get a team together, get it structured. Even if it's not the world's greatest team, you guys will bind and get better over time. And that's all you want to do is get better over time. So there you go. So there you go, Jacob. If you're interested, maybe I'll tell some more of the story later. I've done 12 minutes. I've given you good stuff. You can take this and dissect this a little bit. But yeah, without Mutants Masterminds, I wouldn't be a publisher. And that being said, when I left them after they made their change, the second edition, that cost us a lot of money, and that was devastating to us as a company. Just interesting things to know. Kind of crazy, but there you go. All right, I'm getting out of here. I'm gonna go finish doing some stuff, and I gotta make some sandwiches for Lucas for tomorrow, and then I'm out of here. You all have a good night, and I'll talk to you later.